Good morning. Happy 4th of July. Thank you so much for joining us on a holiday. I'm Savannah Sellers. Joe is off today. We begin this morning with yet another mass shooting in America. This one in Philadelphia. Police are investigating after the shooting left at least 5 people dead and 2 others injured. It happened last night when police say a 40-year-old gunman wearing body armor opened fire in a neighborhood before being taken into custody when he was cornered in an alley. Our Philadelphia station WCAU reports the shooting scene covered several blocks.
This male was wearing a bulletproof vest with multiple magazines in the vest. He also had a scanner and an AR-style rifle and a handgun underneath his body.
Another person who police believe may have picked up a gun and returned fire is also in custody. 3 weapons in all were recovered in connection with the shooting. There is no word yet on a motive. We will stay on this breaking story throughout the morning. And now to severe weather that's threatening some 4th of July celebrations from coast to coast. Last night, parts of the South and the Northeast saw strong winds and torrential rain. These images were taken of an intense rain shower that passed over Midtown Manhattan. South Dakota was also hit with severe weather. This funnel cloud, look at this image. It was spotted across the Missouri River. And in Kentucky, the cleanup continues after storms tore through parts of the state over the weekend, taking down trees and knocking out power to thousands.
Everywhere. So with it raining so hard, you couldn't come outside, but we heard some loud noises. Me personally, it sounded like a little mini train.
Meanwhile, millions of Americans are still dealing with oppressive heat. Cities like Las Vegas, cities like Phoenix, they are expected to top triple digits again today. And several cooling shelters have been opened throughout the state of Nevada. All of this, it of course comes amid a summer travel boom. This 4th of July holiday, it's expected to be the first in which we see U.S. air traffic exceed pre-COVID levels, not even just meet. We have team coverage for you this morning, and we're going to begin with NBC News meteorologist Angie Lassman with your 4th of July forecast. Of course, Angie, tell us what we can expect. Are we getting fireworks later? What's happening across the country?
Yeah, some spots are going to have great conditions for fireworks. We'll talk about that in a moment, Savannah, but we've got to, of course, touch on the heat that we're seeing, and it's dangerous in some spots. We've got 31 million people impacted. This number has grown significantly since the early morning hours. You see places like Phoenix still under that heat warning. That's going to go through the day today and likely into tomorrow. We also will see Portland, places like Medford continue with that heat advisory, and that goes for Raleigh, Jacksonville, and extending down through the southern peninsula of Florida. These temperatures are going to be warm once again into the triple digits for some, mainly folks in the southwest. Places like Phoenix, 112 again today. Santa Fe heads to 94 degrees. Check out Portland, 97 degrees. We are running 20 degrees above normal for folks in that area through the day today. This afternoon, if you're celebrating trying to barbecue in Kansas City, 95 degrees and 93 in Chicago. So some really warm conditions. Cold front's going to work through and back into parts of the plains by tomorrow. We'll see places like Denver see a 22-degree drop. Temperatures ending up in just the 60s tomorrow afternoon. Upper 80s, though, to the east of that cold front. Ahead of it, you'll see temperatures anywhere from the low 90s in places like New York and Roanoke to the upper 80s across the Midwest. This is going to be something that kind of moderates out by the time we get into the end of our work week and get back into the swing of things after this holiday. But again, it's going to be a warm one across much of the area for folks that are celebrating 4th of July, especially during those warmest parts of the day today. And we've got some rain and potentially some strong storms to talk about. So let's focus on the rain first. Some of these showers working through parts of the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, they're going to be scattered really across much of the eastern third of the country. We've got some stronger storms that we're going to monitor through parts of the plains and extending back into the Rockies. When we take a look at what's exactly going on, here's the front that we're watching that's keeping it kind of unsettled for the east. And you can see some of this fires up here as we get into those later afternoon hours. We're not expecting severe weather with this part of those storms that we're tracking, but we could still see some heavy rain and potentially some lightning and definitely some interruptions to those outdoor plans for the afternoon hours today. This is the area, though, that we're going to watch for stronger storms to develop that could be dangerous. We'll have the potential for some strong wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour or even higher than that, hail up to an inch in diameter or even larger than that, and, of course, some isolated tornadoes. It does include cities like Minneapolis and Denver, and unfortunately, these are going to be some of the spots that's going to be difficult for that firework display later this afternoon and into the evening hours. There's those rainfall amounts through Wednesday. You'll see some high amounts in places like Omaha, Kansas City. We could reach up to isolated amounts up to 3 inches. So that'll overwhelming, impressive rain there. Just watch for that. Places like the Northeast as well. You could see some minor flooding. Don't drive through those flooded roadways, of course. Always a good reminder. But the big picture look, the record heat is holding on out west, but plenty of sunshine. I mean, as long as you've got a way to beat the heat out west, it looks like a pretty nice day, sky conditions wise. It's those isolated storms, though, that we'll have to watch along the Gulf Coast. And then here's the big forecast that I think everybody on social media has asked me for. Temperatures in LA, 60 degrees, Savannah. It looks great there. Phoenix, just a little farther to the east, 101. And this is at 9 p.m. tonight. But you'll notice there's still some showers and potentially some thunderstorms for Minneapolis to Denver. We'll watch for potential interruptions. But I'm happy about New York's forecast. 76 degrees. We'll have a little cloud cover, but some clear skies overhead as well. And hopefully that rain will get out of the picture in time for the fireworks show.
60 feels low for LA, right?
Yeah, it is a little on the cooler side. We've seen things kind of fluctuate there, but at least it's not the 101 that Phoenix is dealing with.
That's right. Lots of happy people following you on Instagram right now, right?
Exactly. There you go.
Fireworks across the board. Thanks, Angie. See you in a bit. Now let's get to NBC News correspondent Guad Venegas at Miami-Dade County. Hey, Guad, good morning. So it is another day, as we were just hearing, of dangerous heat for a lot of the country. What precautions should people take if they're planning on celebrating outside today? What's it like where you are?
Savannah, good morning. It is hot and humid, as it's usually at this time of the year here in South Florida. Authorities always have the advice for people to, of course, stay hydrated, also to apply sunscreen for those that are going to be out in the sun, especially people out in the beach, and, of course, find some shade throughout the day if you're going to be out in the sun. And, Savannah, as somebody who grew up in Southern California, I grew up in the desert in temperatures of 100 to 110 degrees. I can't tell you how often we would see people to come visit the area, or people that go to beaches who normally don't live there, who forget to apply sunscreen and stay hydrated, because the heat will creep up of individuals that might be partying or celebrating 4th of July. So those are the very important things that authorities are always advising for those that are planning to spend the day in the sun, Savannah.
Absolutely. You should wear sunscreen all the time, not even just when you're going to hit the beach or something like that. We're going to talk about summer skin a little later in our show, Guad. You could stick around for that. Help us out with that segment, too. But great reminders, and you're right about staying hydrated. It's so important. I know some cities are dealing with extreme heat waves, though, too, and they've had to make these alternative plans for their fireworks displays. We heard a little bit about this from Angie, but there's these fears that these dry conditions could ultimately spark wildfires. We had a great story in our show yesterday about drones being used instead. Tell us about some of those changes.
That's right. So drones are being used in places like Salt Lake City. They're using these drones because, of course, fireworks pose this danger. And it's not only because of wildfires, it's also because of the noise and the pollution that can be caused by the fireworks in Arizona. They're using lasers. So it's a use of technology. Some cities like here in Southern Florida, they're actually mixing fireworks with drones. Some of the pets here, for the people that live around the area and the beach area, will be scared. We all know the way dogs can sometimes react with the sound of fireworks. So it's a good option for some places for many reasons, not just because of that drought and the danger of wildfires. And very important to keep in mind, after the wet winter that places like the West Coast had, there has been a lot of growth of vegetation, and that also creates more dangers. And that's why authorities in many places are being extra careful as we head into the summer and what will become that fire season into the later part of the year, Savannah.
Absolutely. Also, Guad, I mean, I do think that the heat's probably going to send a lot of people to beaches like you're at right now to celebrate or to try to cool off. How big are crowds that we're expecting to see at shore towns like Miami, where you are?
Oh, well, the sun just came up here, right? So it's still very quiet, but we expect this to be packed as everywhere else here in South Florida. Now, Miami Beach, of course, the most popular beach destination in America, according to Hopper.com. It is the #1 beach city when it comes to flights and also hotel bookings. We spoke with the Miami Airport Authority, who told us they expect to process about 1 million passengers going through the Miami Beach International Airport throughout the holiday weekend. So we have the crowds that have arrived already and are expected to come out today. Miami Beach City Police said they do have extra police officers on bicycles, in vehicles, and also walking around to provide more safety. And, of course, the advice for people, especially tourists that perhaps are not too familiar with the beaches, if they plan to go in the ocean, always do it near a lifeguard, or if there's a lifeguard tower, you can always approach the lifeguard and talk to them about any possible rip currents or shark sightings now that there's been more shark encounters. But, of course, the #1 danger for people that come to the beach and go know, in the ocean are rip currents. These are the most dangerous thing to watch for individuals, especially people that aren't too familiar with the beach or the water that are coming out for vacation. But the advice is to just do it, come to the beach, and if you're going to swim, do it near a lifeguard that will always provide some information on the conditions. Savannah.
Really good safety tips throughout your reporting, Guad. Thank you so much. And yeah, those shark attacks, another one overnight here in New York on Long Island. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Guad, thank you so much. Happy 4th. Stay safe, stay cool. Well, according to travel experts, this past weekend was one of the busiest 4th of July periods on record, not even just compared to COVID, when it comes to air travel. And even though we are coming to the end of the holiday weekend, don't get too comfortable, because the ripple effects from those mass cancellations and flight delays, they might still linger. Katie Nastro is a travel expert at Going, and she joins us now with what to expect moving forward. Hey, Katie, good to see you. Thank you for joining us on the 4th. So do we know why it was that travel picked up so much this past weekend in particular, and any tips for people who are headed to an airport today?
Sure. This travel year is one for the books. Not only did we see the highest day on record last Friday, looking at June alone, air travel numbers have outpaced 2019 by more than 500,000. So really, this is the first year that we are fully past pandemic concerns and prioritizing travel despite economic concerns. And so for all intents and purposes, people are traveling, quote unquote, normally again, and potentially making up for lost time.
Are folks who maybe aren't traveling today, what should they be thinking about in the future? Maybe they've got vacations in the next couple of days or weeks. Of course, it's still summer travel season. Just because the 4th of July holiday weekend's over doesn't mean the travel's not. So will we start to see this kind of calm down, or is there really just no new normal anymore when it comes to travel? Are there too many unknowns?
It's not so much that there's too many unknowns. I definitely think that, look, summer is a peak season. There are going to be a lot of people coming through airports, getting on flights. And so I think people shouldn't avoid traveling altogether. Yes, you should definitely be aware that it is going to be a very busy season. We've already seen that with this past weekend and moving forward. And so I think, if you really want to, kind of prepare yourself the best, obviously getting to the airport early. But if you're worried about things like flight disruptions, prioritize nonstop flights as well as morning flights to give yourself the best odds at just making it to your destination on time.
Absolutely. All right, we got to ask you about deals before you go. Where are the best deals to be found right now?
Sure. For all of us who haven't booked our summer travel yet, good news, there are deals still to be had. For all of us who are a little bit outdoorsy, Going just found a great deal from New York to Salt Lake City for $198 round trip, Nashville to Nantucket for $161 round trip. Take advantage of those beautiful beaches, during and escape the humidity from Nashville, as well as Houston to Costa Rica for $265 round trip if you want something international. A lot of great deals coming from Latin America and South America right now. All round trip, all on full service airlines, all for dates throughout July and August. So there are definitely still deals to be had for this summer.
Wow, those are some impressive prices. All right, Katie Nastro, thank you so much, and happy 4th.
Happy 4th. Thanks so much.
Well, today marks 1 year since a gunman armed with a semi-automatic rifle opened fire on a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. 7 people were killed and dozens of others were wounded when a gunman fired more than 80 rounds at the crowd. Today, the city will hold several vigils and host a dedication for a tree of life planted as a symbol of the community's resilience. Now, the trial for the suspect here could be set in September. And turning to the Middle East now, and for a second straight day, Israel is continuing its massive military assault on the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. This morning, an Israeli presidential advisor said Israel was close to completing its operation there, which it says is aimed at rooting out militants. Health officials say at least 10 Palestinians have been killed in the raid and 100 have been left injured. Thousands of Palestinians have also been forced to flee the densely populated camp, while UN aid agencies expressed alarm at the scale of the raid, saying first responders were being prevented from reaching the injured. Joining us now is Brett Bruen. He's the president of the Global Situation Room and the former director of global engagement for the Obama White House. Oh, Brett, thank you so much for joining us this morning, especially on a holiday. We appreciate it. This is Israel's biggest military operation in the occupied West Bank in years. We've seen that tension sort of simmering for a while, but we're actually seeing this unfold now. How worried are you by the scale of this assault, and do you think that Israel should be showing more restraint?
Well, Savannah, what worries me in particular is what comes after this. As you mentioned, the advisors to Israel's prime minister are suggesting that this may be wrapping up. But we've already got word today of a Palestinian man in North Tel Aviv who rammed his car into a number of civilians, injuring several of them. I think this kind of response is what has me worried that we may see a reaction, especially because, as you said, of the scale of this operation, the impact it has had on Palestinians, both in Jenin and more broadly across the West Bank.
Let's talk about America's sort of role in this. Yesterday, we heard the U.S. repeat a message that we have heard many times before, that Israel has a right to defend itself, while, though, adding that civilian casualties should be avoided. What do you think about what the Biden administration is doing here? Is it enough to de-escalate?
Well, they're going to provide, as administrations throughout recent U.S. history have, a wide latitude for Israel to defend itself. However, Prime Minister Netanyahu has lost a lot of credibility, a lot of status in Washington, especially with the Biden administration, because of both the extremists he's put into his cabinet and some of his policies, some of his actions, especially when it comes to Israeli settlers in places like the West Bank. So I think you're going to see less latitude than in the past. I think the Biden administration, however, has to step up and do more. We've seen them engage in what I've called this detached diplomacy when it comes to places like Israel. They need to start searching for solutions. Otherwise, we are going to see more of these kinds of crisis situations popping up and potentially engaging in a broader unrest in Israel and beyond.
When you say they need to do more, and when you say search for other solutions, what do you mean by that? What are some options?
Well, I think first and foremost, we've got to look for ways that we can engage and hopefully empower Palestinian officials, notably the Palestinian Authority, who've lost a whole lot of standing amongst their own people because they've been so sidelined, both during the Trump administration, but we haven't really seen the ability of Palestinian leaders to advance the process, to give hope to those hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who are living in these refugee camps, who are living under very difficult conditions. We've got to find a way to move forward, both with the Israelis as well as with the Palestinians.
And what do you think might happen next in the occupied West Bank?
Well, as I said, what is worrying to me is the reaction, I think, both from Hamas as well as from other individuals like we saw this afternoon in Israel, who are just acting out of a sense of frustration, desperation, and that could also reverberate beyond Israel's borders across the Middle East. And this is where, as Americans, I think we have to look at how we are working towards solutions, how we are engaging in some sort of diplomacy that doesn't just let this problem continue to percolate, as I think we have over the last several years.
Brett, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your expertise this morning.
Sure thing.
Well, there's a new financial reality facing 43 million Americans after the Supreme Court ruled last week against President Biden's plan to wipe away up to $20,000 in federal student loan debt. Well, payments are set to resume in the fall, but there are ways for those who have been on that pause to soften the blow. NBC's Tom Costello explains.
After a 3-year payment hiatus during COVID, the clock is ticking down to a potential wallet buster. The Supreme Court decision means borrowers must resume paying off their entire student loans starting October 1st.
I planned on saving for my home, possibly starting a family.
30-year-old Sharon Elliott still has $20,000 in loans. Just married, he and his wife must now put their plans on hold.
My wife also has $53,000 student loans as well, so we're both going to be set back.
With interest rates averaging nearly 5%, experts urge borrowers to make more than the minimum payment.
If you make the minimum payment on your student debt, you're going to be carrying that debt for a very long time.
The average student loan, $30,000. Now the Biden administration is developing a slow repayment on-ramp. Borrowers who can't make a payment for the first 12 months would not be penalized. And a plan called SAVE, an income-driven repayment program, would cut the minimum monthly payments in half, from 10% of discretionary income to 5%. After 10 years of payments, loans of $12,000 or less would be forgiven.
It's good for the economy. It's good for the country. It's going to be good for you.
Meanwhile, public service workers, including first responders, nurses, and teachers, might also qualify for loan forgiveness.
There are affordable ways to pursue college degrees, and in many professions and in many occupations, you absolutely do need those. You need those credentials to be able to pursue those careers.
College enrollment is actually dropping with fewer students and higher tuition. Financial advisors say in-state schools and two-year community colleges can help make that degree much more affordable. Back to you.
Tom Costello, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.